Right.
It's small, like more for the blue. Good. So, look the
Yes, sir.
The theme of our conversation is around transitioning from a boy to a man. So, in that context, you can ask me any question related to
A boy to a man. I'm going to ask about women. I'm going to ask about money.
No, don't. So, that's all broad. But today, let's stick to the boy to a man. But, like, if you ask me the foundational questions, like, you need to understand who you are before you even go and talk about money and all this.
That's fair.
If you don't know who you are, like, what are you doing? And that's the basis I want to break down for you. You can actually go live if you want to, you know. I brought a tripod today.
It's around right here.
Ah, good.
Glasses? No glasses.
Hello?
She asking for bread for her parents.
Hello?
I told her right now.
Hello?
Yeah, she said she was waiting on them.
Yes.
I put out $1 million to stare at the ish. My dick just got hard as a wire, just hit.
I'm currently busy, okay? I'll call you back.
Hello.
You're busy, you're coming to try and sell me a website.
What is that, a credit card company?
They want to build a website for me. Thank you, Jason. Thank you so much. Good. There we go.
Okay, let me get this out of your way. The light is bright. Everything is recording.
Is recording.
1 second.
He said, nice, a podcast.
Yep. We are not playing.
From the streets.
The studio.
1, 2, 3, 4. Sure you want to leave this thing on?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you,
Have
Jason.
fun, gentlemen.
Thank you,
so
sir. Let's go.
So when you're ready, I'll clap. You ready?
Let's go.
Awesome. And 3, 2, 1. And 3, 2, 1. Action. So you guys, welcome to the podcast. It's Foreign Wisdom with GK. This is episode 1. And I have here my boy Loki. We go way back. So Loki and I have been having like conversations and we've been talking, and I am older than Loki and we have a very nice relationship. And a lot of the questions he's been asking me, I've been dropping gems, and even he himself has been saying, yo, you're dropping gems. I'm like, yo, why don't we take this conversation from offline to online? We've been just talking on the streets when we are hustling and all of that. And in life, God brings people together for a reason, you know. Loki and I go way back, and a lot of the conversations we have, most of the time, it's about life. It's about figuring out life. It's about trying to be the man God has called you to become, and generally just talking about life in general. So I'm like, yo, let's move this conversation to the podcast. And any question you have for me, I am, by God's grace, I'm well traveled, I'm experienced, I've been married for 10 years now, and so welcome to our podcast, man. Loki will just be drowning me with questions and all his curiosities and everything, and like, I'm just, what's good, man? What's happening?
Hey guys, it's good to be here, good to be on. Let's like get the viewers a little comfortable and familiar with me right now.
Yeah.
Low key. I'm 23.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not from LA, actually. I was born in Boston, right? I did a year program of acting over in London. Came back to the States, went home for a little bit, then I came to LA. I've been here for a year and some change.
Awesome. So like all the questions you've been asking me and all of that. First of all, how old are you?
23.
And in when you look at your life right now, would you say that you are living a life of a 23-year-old, or do you feel like you are ahead of people who are your same age, or you are behind, or you're on the same level with them?
I feel like in certain aspects I'm ahead, because maybe I kind of feel like I put myself like in the jungle before I was ready, which made me have to get ready, you know? It's not like I was pushed out of the nest, you know?
Yeah. Awesome. So today we are talking about what it means to be a man. What's the difference between a boy and a man? So fire away, ask me any questions.
Okay.
Yeah, ask me your questions. Let's go.
I want you to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I'm a young man. You know, we always trying to prove that we're men. When do you know when you're a man? Is it when you get the success? Is it when the woman comes? Or is it when you create a family? When do you know? Or is it all of that?
Loki went straight to the You started the show with straight big questions, bro.
Yo, let's get right into it.
Yo, man, listen. So the difference between so God is good. He creates us, and then He takes us through stages, right? But the beauty about us men is that the God we serve will not let you skip any step of the process. A man's life is supposed to be stages. You have to go through every stage that God has planned for you. And whether we believe it or not, we are here for a purpose. Excuse me. The reason why you are a man is because God have a special role for you. What do you want to say?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, for a young man my age, why do you think sometimes us young men think if you're not having sex with a woman...
Relax.
You're not there. Relax. Hold on.
You're not there yet. Relax.
But it came up.
Let me finish the point I was making.
Go ahead.
God made all of us for a purpose, right? God made all of us for a reason. But the simplest answer I can say to you about what makes a boy a man is if you are able to know why you were created. And that is the essence of life, actually. If you're able to know why you were created, why God created you, and what your role on this planet is, and what you are supposed to be doing on this planet, you've cracked the code. That is the difference between who a man is. Because there are men who are 5-year-olds. There are men who are 10-year-olds.
At 5 years old, you can be a man?
Yes,
that don't even make sense.
Because that 10-year-old has realized that his mom is a single mom.
Yes.
He needs to step out. He needs to step up and help the mom in areas where the mom cannot do it herself. That 5-year-old or that 10-year-old can say a word of encouragement to the mom, and the mom's day will change. That is a man. A man doesn't come in sizes, in big or small. A man becomes. And most times, it requires you stepping into it. It's not like, men are born, or naturally you are just born to be a man. No. You have to step into. It's a role you have to step into. And one of the easiest way to step into that role is knowing your purpose on earth. For example, like I just said, if you are born in a single parent home and you see your mom struggling and all of that, there are boys who just chill and play game and not help their moms or do anything. But the guy who sees the mom hustling or the mom suffering and decides to, even at a young age, decides to say, I want to alleviate the pain and the burden of my mom. I want to bring some level of comfort to my mom.
That's what I was about to ask that. How can a man get more comfortable stepping into that role? Because those roles, you bring them up, but it's like everybody says, step into that role, help your mom, take care of this, take care of that. But when it actually shows up, you know, it's kind of like, it's like a weight on your shoulder. You can feel it.
Yeah.
A lot of people younger men don't understand that.
Yeah.
You can feel the pressure and people's problems and all that on you. So how can you stay comfortable with all the pressure and responsibilities on you of being a man.
Honestly, I don't wish that on any young
He said,
man
I don't
out
wish
there.
that on any
Yeah.
young man.
I don't wish that on any young man out there, because the honest truth, it's a huge burden. It's a huge burden. That's why
For real.
we need most men in the household. One of the aim of this podcast is to be able to have you be in the life of your children. Because if you are in the life of your children, they won't have to have that weight on their shoulder.
That's a good point.
You know, they won't have talking to the mic. They won't have to. They won't have to have that weight on their
That's
shoulder.
a good point.
And as a society, we need to mentor young men like you to forget about the frivolities in life and focus on the real things that matter in life. You see, they are young kids who are taking that burden on their shoulder, who are helping their moms, who are being child husbands to their moms, who are taking on responsibilities they shouldn't be taking on.
Yes.
It is unfortunate. Life isn't a straight line.
So it's unfortunate.
Sometimes that is your cross you have to carry. It is up to you to go and ask God, why? I grew up in a single parent home. I didn't have a stable home. I didn't have a dad at home. But that doesn't mean that a stable family shouldn't come from me. That doesn't mean that I shouldn't father my kids or other kids that need the love I have to give. That doesn't mean that I can't mentor a young person who can become like me. That doesn't mean I can't teach somebody how to be a husband and a father. It is a big role most young people are taking on. It doesn't make it right, but maybe they need that to build character. Some people don't need that. There are so many kids in Beverly Hills, Malibu, or posh neighborhoods who have two-parent household, and they may not need to carry on the weight. And we see the end of them. They go into drugs, and they are depressed, and they are doing all those things. Majority are like they have money, but they are not happy. Maybe it may not be the right way, but maybe in our case, and God, you can't judge God, or you can't ask him why he does things. But the kids who had to take on the responsibility at a younger age, maybe it's for them to build character. It's for them to build a strong persona, so that when they go out, they can face life's challenges. And life is not easy.
No.
Life is very hard. And so sometimes you go through these things, but it is high time majority of us who have gone through such things mentor the next generation of husbands, the next generation of fathers like you, so you stay in the house, so you stay and take care of your offspring. You stay and be a good father. That's the whole point.
I have a good question.
Yeah.
That you may not want to answer right
No,
now, but it's just coming up.
No.
How do you know when you're a better man than your dad?
Yo.
You just got to the point.
Yo.
How do you know that?
Come close to
He
the
said
mic.
come close.
Yo, that's a
Good question.
But you see, okay, so I like the question. But you see, life isn't a competition. Anybody who sees life as a competition has already lost. For me, I'm in business.
But it's
No,
not.
I'm coming. I'm answering your
It's
question.
not a competition. That's not a
I'm
competition.
coming. I'm answering your question. I'm in business. I don't care what my competitor is doing. Competition is for losers, because there's enough for all of us all, right? But having said that, me as somebody who didn't grow up with my dad, when I eventually grew up, my pastor told me to go and look for my dad and have a chat with him and just forgive him for not being in my life. And I shouldn't just judge him because I was not in his shoes. Truly, I didn't have a relationship with my dad. But when I went and I looked for my dad and I built a relationship with him, I realized that the guy is way better than I knew. He's way better than I had assumed.
Really?
Yes, because we are not the sum of our mistakes. We are the sum of the totality of our mistakes and our good side.
That's true.
The bad side was projected to me. The bad side of him was trumpeted to me. But I went to experience the good side, and I was like, wow, I'm actually proud to be the son of this man.
Can I ask you a question?
I'm coming out. Let me answer your question. I'm actually proud to be the son of this man. And that has made me sit down and realize that in all of the world, if you are fortunate to have found a lady who loves you, your mom, your dad is one of the few people who will be genuinely glad for their son to do better than them. So it is immature to want to be a better dad than your dad, or be a better man than your dad.
Yeah.
It is immature because
it's immature.
Yes, because everybody's life is different.
That's fair.
The conditions he went through to not be in your life, maybe if you went through the same conditions, you'll be dead. Maybe,
that's actually true.
Maybe the conditions he went through to be out of your life, maybe it had to happen for you, so your life will be different. There's a guy online who is very rich, and he had not seen his dad since he was born. And one day he gets a call and he says, there's a man who says he's your dad. He's about to die. He wants to talk to you. And this rich guy receives the call. He cuts the line. He says, fuck you, I'm not coming to see him.
That's crazy.
But you see, in that moment, he's rich. So the money and the ego is raining heavy in his life. He also has children. He will not understand what he did until his 50 years time, when he's also about to die. Because the man who did not pay attention to you when you were a kid is different from the man who is about to die.
Dang. Yeah, what do you mean by that?
Sometimes
that sounded deep.
Sometimes God will even drive away certain people out of it. I'm not giving any excuse for that who are absent in their life, but we shouldn't judge situations. We shouldn't be so hard on our dads, especially in a society where everything is being done to prevent the next generation of boys to grow into husbands and fathers. It's an achievement if a young person becomes a dad. It's an achievement if a young person becomes a husband, because there are so many things preventing you from doing that. So if you're able to even get to the level where you are successful at something you are doing, don't even look at the idea that, am I finally better than my dad? No, it's immature to think that, because their lives are totally different. The destinies are totally different.
But it also gives us a sense of, you have to understand like how we felt. It gives us like a sense of like accomplishment, you know?
If you're a Christian, God says,
because the facts are, and you know that, it is harder to grow as a man in a single parent household.
Yeah.
And the odds are stacked against you, and the world tells you you're gonna fail.
Yeah.
So when you finally get to that point where you feel like you're doing better, it kind of like reassures us that like,
to God be the glory. You didn't get there by your own. Okay. When you get there, to God be the glory. You thank God and say, yo, as I'm talking to you right now, there are people crossing the sea. They go through several countries, like about 10 countries, to cross the high sea to try and get to Europe. Before they hustle in Europe for years, and when they are stable, then they can pay money and make it to the US. There are people crossing the Amazon to come to the US. 1 second. They come to the US to try and make a better life for themselves. Their dads have not made it to the US. Some people's dad tried to come to the US and they died on the way. So if such a child is able to make it to the US and try to build a better life for him and the people back home, it is immature of him to now come to the US and say, I've been able to buy a house in the US. My dad couldn't buy a house in the US, so I'm a better man than my dad.
I see what you're saying.
That is not the measure. The measure is that God has protected me. God has taken me through the most difficult things in life, and now I can be able to pay back for those who took care of me, those who prayed for me. We live in a society where having a mentor or somebody in your life who cares about you is downplayed. It's downplayed. Yes, the guy didn't take care of you, but the fact that he's still in your life, he's still alive, that you can call and say, this is my dad, is more important. Yeah.
So you believe if a man is not in his child's life, the child that he chose to create, there can be excuses.
No, there's no excuse not to take care of your child. Zero, there's none. But I'm saying that life isn't a straight line.
Yes.
Probably emotions went high. And we all know that not everybody can control their emotions. Probably the man and the woman had several arguments.
Of course.
And things were said. And based on those emotional statements, the man retreated or pulled away or something. That is not an excuse not to take care of your child. But life happens. But you, the child, when you grow up, you have to be aware of what happened between them and try to correct the mistakes they went through. That is why we have to have mentors who are throwing a light on our path for us and say, this is where your dad made a mistake, so don't make this mistake. If your dad couldn't finish high school, don't sit there and keep saying, oh, my dad was not in my life, my dad was not in my life. Everything your dad couldn't achieve, you try and do better. It's not a competition. But you are looking at his life to say, yes, the reason why I'm mad at him or the reason why I'm not so proud about my dad, he didn't do this and this and this. Okay, now I want to do this and this and this. It's not a competition. But you are just righting the wrong. Otherwise, the next generation will suffer. Does that make sense? Otherwise, the next generation will suffer if you don't correct the wrongs that you think he did. Because it is not in your place to judge him. Leave him to God.
You said don't judge him. It's God's job.
It's God's job. It's God's job to judge him. So, because whilst you are judging him, God says we are sinners. Even from the womb, we are already sinners. Whilst you are judging him, it may prevent you from receiving a certain blessing that's coming from him. Even in his sin, in him neglecting you, he's still your dad and still has a certain blessing to you. Now, coming back to the original question of a young man becoming a man, it is all part of it. Responsibilities define who a man is. Responsibilities. I told you, sometimes you step into the responsibility. Sometimes you are given the responsibility. Sometimes it just happens. Responsibility determines who a man is. Most people run away from this responsibility. Most people go and hide when situations happen. Most people can't stand certain things. But a man is one who faces his responsibilities and handle them no matter how hard it is, no matter how difficult it is. That is what makes a man. A boy will make most of the excuses and come up. Even men make a lot of excuses. But when it's all said and done, is the job done? See, is the job done? You are 23 years old right now, right?
Yes.
What if you are looking at your life and you are trying to say, how do I become a man? It is the sum of the things you do, the responsibilities you take, which is yourself, being responsible for yourself, being responsible for the immediate people in your life, your mom, your siblings, and all of that. If you're able to do that, then you can step out of your house and take on more responsibilities out of your house.
That's why I don't live in the house, though.
But
so
you don't
do
need
I have to
live
be
there.
responsible for them?
If you call your younger brother and just spend an hour on the phone with them and have a conversation about their life, what they are doing with their life, the decisions they are making, and what they plan to do, just being a listener.
Being there, of course.
That is a responsibility. When you do that with your siblings, you can do that outside to a girlfriend, you can do that outside to a colleague at work, you can do that outside to a friend outside. Most of the time, we try to go outside and be superheroes, but if you start from home, they say wisdom begins at home. So responsibilities, any young person who wants to know he's a man should look at the responsibilities on his plate. Sometimes your parents or your mom or your aunties or your cousins or anything may not ask you for something, but you can notice that they need so and so, and you provide it. But for you to make that provision, you may have to go and take on a second job to do that. That is a responsibility, especially when nobody asks you to. You just take it upon yourself. Sometimes you have to pray for certain people in your life, and you take it upon yourself to do that for them. They've not asked you to, but maybe you've seen that they need this, and if you don't do it, nobody will do it for them. And so that is a responsibility you take on. A man is judged by the amount of responsibilities he has and he's taken care of. The more responsibilities on your plate, they say to whom much is given, much is expected. The more responsibilities you have on your plate, the more manly you are. Because you don't have...
So it's not muscles.
No, it's responsibilities, because you don't have time to fool around. You don't have time to fool around. If my goal as a man is to build this podcast so that any young person to build this studio so that any young person who doesn't have money can be able to afford to use this space at a subsidized cost. And if I'm able to build something like this, and let's just say in a year 200 people are able to use this to create their own podcast studio, I'm responsible for 200 people's career in life.
Yeah.
If they make it, they'll forever mention my name. That is responsibility. That makes me a man.
So it's the responsibilities you carry and take care of.
Yes, or that fall on your lap. That is what makes you a man.
Oh my gosh.
And what does that mean? Let me break it down for you. Sleep is really sweet. Sleeping is really enjoyable. Eating food is really enjoyable. Things that make you happy in the short term are very, very nice. Sex and all of that, they are very good. But if you can forsake all those things and go and take responsibilities, are not easy things. They are hard things. So if you can forsake sleep, instead of sleeping for 8 hours, and you get up and go and look for somebody who you've not heard of, your family member or your immediate cousin or a friend, someone you've not heard of in a long time, go to their house and go and say, I haven't heard from you. I've been calling you, you've not been picking. I've been texting you, you've not been replying. I'm coming to your house right now to check on you. Are you okay? Is everything okay? What's going on? We haven't spoken in a year. Are you okay? Like, those are things that are not easy to do. If you have to go and get a second or a third job to save so you can pay for a cousin's school or your mom, your younger sister's education, or take someone, your auntie or your grandma to on a ship cruise because they've never traveled before and you just want to see a smile on their face. Those are hard responsibilities. If you have to go and do even work you don't want to do just to take care of your family, maybe you want your wife to stay home, you don't want your wife to work, and you say, listen, stay home and take care of our kids, I'll go out there, I'll go and kill for us. That's a responsibility. So most young people would like to sleep and play games, and then most young people will go out there and take on responsibility. Mind you, it's a choice. Getting out of the house to become somebody. Because when you are born...
That's what I'm saying. Getting out of the house to become... Because I have a lot of younger people on my channel as well, 21 to 25. They still haven't taken that step out yet. But they keep asking me, how can I get girls? How can I get... They're asking for all this stuff, but they haven't stepped out yet.
That's because we live in a society that encourages you to stay indoor. When you turn on the TV, bro, there are over 500 TV channels you can watch. You can stay indoor and binge YouTube videos and just like not step out. That is what distinguishes a boy and a man.
Hey.
The ability to let entertainment go and short-term gratification go, and stepping out of your comfort zone to go and do the hard thing. That is what makes a man. A man is built of challenges and responsibilities, not happiness. That's why a lot of it is dangerous when a man or a young boy start talking about, I want to be happy, I want to be happy. The young boy wants to be happy. The man wants to do the responsible thing and find a solution to what is a problem in the society.
Not just having fun.
Not just having fun. Fun is good, yes, but too much of it, you start losing your purpose in life. You start losing your focus in life. You start losing you start missing your destiny. Why you were created to come on this earth, you start losing it, and that is a problem in most of our generation now. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, it's good to watch these things, but don't spend your life sitting down watching a 24-hour stream when you're not making 20K a month, you know? But the person making the stream is milking. You and I, we watch all this content, but look at us sitting on a podcast. We are working. So we cease from being just idle, enjoying other people's content. And we are also working, creating our own empire. That is the thing.
I have another question.
Yes.
Let's say, because we both come from single mom households, right?
Yeah.
Do you believe a woman can teach a man how to be a man?
A boy how to be
a boy. Do you believe a woman can teach a boy how to be a man?
I'd say no. She can try, but trying doesn't mean you've done the impossible. She can try, but it's not possible because a woman is not a man. What it takes for a boy to become a man can only be taught by a man. The same way, I cannot teach my daughter how to take care of herself during her first period. My wife can.
That's true.
So when my daughter experiences a first period and emotions and moods and all this, I don't know. I've not experienced it before. When my son comes to me about peeing in the washroom basin, and whether he should sit or stand to pee, or if he wakes up in the morning and he has his penis is erect, and he doesn't understand what is going on, I can explain it to him. And also, God made us, boys and men, to experience certain hardships of life to build character in us. So if you are going through a heartbreak, like you've gone through your first heartbreak with a girl, I can explain to you and say, yo, welcome to the club.
Welcome to the club, buddy.
You know, even though my wife may be able to explain it to my son, it may not be as deep as I will explain it to him. Say, yo, player,
he's a yo player.
You're supposed to have, it's a badge of honor to say, yo, okay, I got this, now I'll learn from it. Next time, I know which...
It's not happening again.
I know how to approach this situation. Then I can pull him aside and teach him. It is very hard for a woman. My mom tried to teach me how to be a man, but by God's grace, I had mentors. I had men who were mentoring me. I had men who were guiding me to become a husband and a father. If a woman is trying to do it, it will be hard. Not to say it's not, she can't do her best, but God has to intervene. That is why we have a lot of feminine men currently in our society, because majority of our men grew up in single parent household, and it's a problem in the sense that the thoughts a man starts from here before it.
But how does growing up in the single mom household and staying there feminize you?
Okay.
That's a great question.
That's a great question. Give it up for yourself. So it feminizes you in a sense that you start taking the female traits, and most of the time you start, because we are a creature, a product of our environment, right? So you start taking on a lot of female traits, arguments, excessive quarreling, overthinking about certain things, overanalyzing about certain things, indecisiveness, and those things are, majority of those things are in women, so men can provide a solution to. So for example, if I'm going out with my wife to go and buy food, and my wife can't decide on what to eat, and I step in and say, the last time we had this Chinese, so I'll order the Chinese for you. And then my wife may say, oh no, I'm not feeling like Chinese. I'm say, my dear, trust me, you will like it. And then she say, are you sure? I say, yes. The moment the Chinese comes and she likes it, I've won points.
Yes.
Because like I stepped in, I provided a solution. She wasn't sure, she was indecisive. I came with a definite answer, a sure answer. Even when she wasn't sure, I convinced her to be sure about it. And then I've won, like she likes it. God intentionally put those traits in women for men to provide a solution to. Now, if a man spends so much time with more women, he takes those traits, he learns them indirectly. So now suddenly I'm working with you and we ate watermelon the last time, but you say, yo, I want to eat fruit. The automatic thing will be, we ate watermelon from this guy, so let's go and buy it from this guy. Suddenly, you, a guy, you are saying, I'm not sure if I want the watermelon from this guy. How about the watermelon from the other guy? Or should we get a mango from this guy? Or should we get a pineapple from this guy?
That's how girls think.
Suddenly, you are overthinking the whole process, you know? Like, when I told you about this podcast, you said, let's go. You didn't overthink it. Like, how would the lights be? How would the camera be? How should I wear? What should I buy? Do I need to go and get a haircut? You didn't overthink. You just said, let's go. That's a decisive nature that we have, that we bring to the table. So most societies now, men are becoming feminine because they've seen their aunties, their mothers also have made them child husbands, and so the whole behavior is subconscious within them.
Okay, I have another question.
Yeah.
So, I have a girlfriend. A lot of you.
Let's not go there.
Hold on, you have to hear this.
Okay, let's go.
Spending time with your girlfriend, can that make you feminine? If you're spending too much time with your girlfriend.
Come on, if I'm telling you that spending time with your mom
But
and
why?
your sisters, I just explaining it to you.
Hold on, but it's just one girl.
Bro,
And you're just...
when you are young, you need time to build yourself. If you've not built yourself to the point where you are self-aware and strong internally, you grew up in a broken home, a single parent home, now you've grown up around a lot of women, you've picked certain traits unaware.
That's very true.
You've not gotten that out of your system. Now you are going into the dating marketplace and you are not trained to know what you are doing. And then you the first lady who blows your mind with sex or who gives you the best position, you want to marry her the next day and you want to just give her all your earnings because she's giving you something you've not seen before. Suddenly, instead of going to work, you are sleeping home. Instead of going to hustle, you are constantly with her. Instead of going to fend and like kill for the two of you, you are giving excuses why you are not doing things. That can happen.
Okay, so if you're with the woman and you're still like grinding and killing,
let's stay on the boy and man. We'll come there. Otherwise, a lot of the things we'll talk about, we'll jump the gun. Let's stay on the boy and man. Let's stay on the transition of boy to man conversation.
I had to ask that.
No, it's fine.
It had to come up.
I got you. Let's go. Ask another question.
Okay.
Relating to how it means to be a man. So like, you are 23. What is it you have to do to become a man? I spoke about response. You can take it from there.
It's really just about like in terms of being a man, because some people say nobody can show you how to be a man. You have to learn it on your own. But
so your question is that true?
Can you learn how to be a man on your own, or do you need to learn from other men?
So, if you look around you, that's a beautiful question, by the way. That's a beautiful question. You've been on the road, man. Yeah, you've just been asking the right questions. So the honest truth is, the very honest truth is, life has been lived before. There's nothing new under the sun.
Amen.
A lot of things we are going through has happened before. And if you look around our society currently, especially in the black community, if you look around us, a lot of things happening in our societies because a lot of people do not have mentorship. Being a man can be taught. Becoming a man has happened so many times. David mentored Solomon to become king.
Mm-hmm.
And Martin Luther King mentored so many people. Even he was mentored by other people. There's nothing new under the sun. The biggest investment any young man can receive in his life is being mentored by somebody who has gone where he wants to be before. I am married. I have my kids. If I mentor somebody like you...
You're in your kid's life. You're a married man and you see your kids every single day.
So if I mentor you, I can show you how to get there.
Exactly.
But if you don't have someone mentoring you, you will not be able to get there. Someone mentored me. Someone called me. I didn't go and look for a mentor. Someone saw me, saw the potential I have in me, and then said, yo, I want to help you become a good man. I want to help you become a good father. I want you to become a good husband. And that is how I'm able to do what I am doing now. The same way I'm having this conversation, my genuine hope is that I'm able to mentor you to get to the point where you are married happily and you have your family and you are in their life. But there's so many young men and men who do not have mentorship, who never had mentorship when they were 10, 15, 20 years, and they've grown into adulthood, and they are still winging it at life.
Yes.
And they don't know whether to go left or right.
So you can't wing it to be a man. You can't wing it.
Majority wing it. That's majority of the population of men. That's why suicide rates are high.
Hold on.
The suicide rate is higher in men than women because majority of men are winging it in life. They don't know what they are doing. They don't know what their calling is. They don't know what their passion is. They don't know why they are on earth. They don't know what they need to do. Majority are just like, listen, I've been going to work back and forth, making salary and all of that. I'm tired. I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm tired. Then they're just going off themselves. Majority don't even know any direction about what it is to do. So they just pick anything that looks decent, winging it in life. And here's the thing. It's okay if you are winging it, but know God so God can direct your path. Find a mentor so the mentor can give you the blueprints, or go to school so you make friends.
Mm-hmm.
School is not really for education, it's for friendship, it's for building connections. And that is what our society is experiencing. That's why a lot of young people go and join associations with places they shouldn't be in. But on a normal day, if a lot of young people had mentors or uncles or people who were looking out for them, chances are they will not end in certain situations. There was somebody who called me and said, you need to become a husband because there's no husband in your family. My mentor called me, saw me and said, listen, the way you are trending, if we don't take care, you follow girls and beg us all your life. The way you are going, if you don't take care, you use all your small money, the small money you are making, you use all your money to go and chase girls, to go and pay for hotel bills and just be sleeping with girls. So we need to make sure.
Hold on, though.
Okay.
So you're saying all those outside things won't make you a man?
No. All those outside things will make you. It's a good question you're asking me. It will not make you a man because finding who you are is internal. It's not outside. Finding who you are and your purpose in life and why you have been called in this life is internal. What do I mean? Your great-grandfather. Let's just say your great-grandfather. You've not met him before. So this is your great-grandfather. You've not met him before. He was let's just say he was a politician, but he didn't win. He stood for election several times. He didn't win.
Yep.
So he couldn't become the politician. But that didn't stop him from being a politician just because he didn't win. But he was a politician. That's your great grandfather. Then your grandfather also was a politician. He also didn't win. And then your father, he didn't even try to be a politician at all. He just focused on other things. Now you are this generation.
Yeah.
The blood of these three are running through you.
I know.
So when you go and stand to be a politician or you go and stand for an election, chances are you may win. Why? Because of this guy. The blood is running through you. But it is up to you to sit down and study your family tree.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's important.
That is how you find your purpose in life. That is how you know. That is how you know why you were created. Like, because if you want to know what God created you for, study your family. The family is the easiest answer to know your purpose in this life. If this grandma didn't marry, she was divorced. This grandma didn't marry, she was divorced. This grandma didn't marry, she was divorced. And then it is your turn. If you don't study these three, you'll be like them. Despite all the reason that will make you be like them, if you don't study it, the answer to finding out who you are, the answer to knowing why you are a man or you were created on and brought into this earth is in our family tree. Blood transfer, genes, our genes, it transfers from one generation to the next generation, to the next generation, to the next generation. My dad is a traveler. My dad has traveled to so many countries. And he tried so many times to come to America. It didn't succeed. So me living in yes, he didn't succeed in trying to come.
He never stepped foot.
He tried so more than 100 times. It didn't work. But me living in America, it's a testament to say I continued that trajectory. It's not news because my dad tried everything he wanted, he could to come to America, and it didn't work. My kids becoming American citizen isn't just by chance because somebody sowed a seed. Somebody did the work. So I am benefiting because my dad tried. So when I started traveling. I took on his traveling traits. And where do you think was the aim to go to? America. And I'm here. My kids are American citizens. My dad has American grandkids now because of one person's action. If you want to see where you are going in life, or if you want to know why God created you, look at your family tree. Some people become better than everybody in their family. Those are the rare ones. I'm not sure there's any better rapper in Lil Wayne's family than Lil Wayne.
Of course.
Those are rare instances. But majority of the people, your future and your destiny is in your family tree. We avoid that. We like to run away from that. We like to run away from what has happened in our family. There are so many people who carry genetic illnesses to the next generation. It has to be looked at, you see. So, being a man is internal, it's not external. You can have the cars, you can have the money, and still be a boy and not be thinking like a man. Being a man is sitting down with yourself and becoming self-aware. And becoming self-aware and say, okay, this is who I am. If I don't do A plus B and C, I'll be broke. I'll be poor. I come from a family where nobody, if you sit down, this is who a self-aware man is. Sit down, take a pen and paper, and write and list the immediate generation you come from great-grandfather, great-great-grandfather, great-grandfather, grandfather, father, and then you. List the generations, direct generations, and look at their life. You see connections in there. You see similarities in there. You will know the blood that runs through. The similarities will run through. You see it. But most people do not even pay attention to the families they come from. There are certain families, nobody has married from that family. Nobody is a husband in that family. Nobody is all the men are deadbeats. It's a family heritage. Do you know I'm the first person to be married in 10 generations in my family? 10 generations. First
That's impressive.
Person. Because my mentor said, sit down and take stock of everybody who is married in your family. And we didn't even find one. Do you understand?
So that started at a young age, though.
Oh, I think it started in my 20s.
Yeah.
That's why I'm starting with you in your 20s.
So how pivotal is it for a young man trying to develop into a grown man? How can he not waste his 20s? How can he spend it learning how to become the man he's supposed to be?
Yo, you're questioning, yo.
Act like that. He said, yo. He said,
yo, you came, man.
I came prepared.
Listen, the best way not to waste your 20s is to find God and find a mentor. There's nothing new under the sun. Find God and find a mentor. What do I mean by a mentor? Understand from the very early in life, understand that money is not everything. Money is not everything. But knowing God, knowing that God's got you is the most important. That is the biggest confidence booster and flex you can have. Once you know that God is with you, you can find a mentor, and God will lead you to a mentor who will be happy to help you without taking money from you, without making you feel bad. A mentor will guide you. In your 20s, my mentor said, work, travel. So I was a workaholic. So I can make money and see the world. That's what my mentor said to me. Work and travel. So I did a lot of menial jobs, several jobs, just so I can save and travel. Let me ask you, didn't you have a good experience in London?
Of course, at the time of my life.
So imagine, in this your 20s, imagine if every year you lived in a different city or in a different country. One London, you had a beautiful experience, right?
Yeah.
Now imagine living in your 20s, living in different cities.
You know what's funny about that? I want to do that, but also at the same time, I have a friend doing that right now. I feel as if there's no stability there, though.
But you're in your 20s.
But what's wrong with trying to obtain stability?
You
right
are in your
now?
20s. You are not supposed to be looking for stabilities in your 20s. You are supposed to experience life in your 20s.
I know.
Because
jeez.
God being God will not drop the hammer on you in your 20s. He will not bring certain hardships your way in your 20s. Some experience that very early. But if you are lucky that you are not facing the death of family members every month in your 20s, if you are lucky to be able to have family around you, your mom is alive, and like there are no serious chronic diseases that you can't just leave family. Like if you are not in war-torn situations. There are people in Palestine, Gaza right now, and Afghanistan who can't travel. If you are not plagued by certain life issues and you have the ability to travel, this is not in your 20s is not the time where you are trying to make all the money in the world, or you are trying to build the most stable life.
But that's what me and my friends are trying to do.
You are supposed to experience life. I'm able to talk to you and advise you because I experienced life in my 20s.
So you think we should slow down a little bit?
Because life is not a race. You are supposed to learn. When do we make time to learn? The learning you're experiencing in college or in school, it's not the only learning you need to be successful in life or to get ahead in life. You need to learn from the streets. And where do you get knowledge from the streets? By exploring, by
gotta
meeting
get
new
out.
people. Life, there's a saying that life begins at 40. That is a saying that life begins at 40. And it's really true. You realize that the friends you made in your 20s, in your 30s, are the ones you build with in your 40s. A man is very sure of himself, very, very, very confident of himself, self-aware in his 40s. In your 20s and your 30s, you are making mistakes.
Yeah, we're making mistakes, we're learning, we're messing up.
But if you have a mentor, the mentor will give you a blueprint so you don't make too many mistakes. You are allowed to make mistakes in your 20s. Yes, agreed and accepted. But you are also not allowed to make too many. You can't have 5 baby mamas.
He said 5 baby mamas.
When you're 23. I will not allow that. I will not allow that.
He said I would allow that.
As your mentor. No, you cannot be my mentee and have like 4 baby mamas and you're calling me, yo, GK, baby number 3 just called me. Baby mama number 3 just called me. So let me call you back. No way. And then you don't have work too. Come on, no way. So like, you're allowed to make mistakes, but you're not allowed to make life-altering mistakes that can impact the next generation.
So what are some of the life-altering mistakes that a young man can make that will prevent him from being the man he's supposed to be?
By following too much sex.
Is that it though?
Yes, because...
That's it? Just women?
No, there's so many, like being in the wrong crowd, and going to being at the wrong place at the
wrong time. Yes.
Yeah, like not being able to control your mouth and knowing when to shut up, but knowing how to listen and talk by being respectful, because sometimes you just walk around, you don't know who you are talking to or you don't know who you are meeting. And sometimes you can talk your way out of opportunities. You meet certain people who are really wealthy and they can be your destiny helper. And simply because you don't listen or you're only talking constantly, they don't even know that you have an issue, so they can help you. Because since you met them, you are the one talking, so they are just listening. They feel like they don't need. So there are so many things most young men can do to avoid being in a wrong situation. Like, shut up and listen. Read more, because so many people have lived life and they've put it in a book. You are not wiser than people who have come before you.
Of course not.
So learn. Humility. Those are some things. Being arrogant in your 20s is not necessary. It doesn't benefit you or even society. Being close-minded in your 20s is when you explore life and understand deeper things, like learn. So if a young person in their 20s is close-minded like you, if you are young and you are close-minded, you are not open-minded to learn about the universe, to learn about God and spirituality, to learn about, is it true that the devil exists or Satan exists, and what are his modalities of operation? How does he operate? If you are not open-minded to really step out of your comfort zone even to the point of getting to praying for your enemies, or even if you have any in your 20s, like even to the point of understanding a different race of people who do not even like you and trying to figure out why they don't like my race, you know?
Yeah.
In your 20s, there are so many things you can do that can throw you off, but sex is one of the things, because from a young age, most young men, I don't know why God did that, but there's this urge, there's this hormone within you that's pushing you to want to have sex.
Yeah.
Constantly pushing you to want to have sex. The more you're able to control it, the less trouble you are in, because if you follow that feeling and you don't die of the flesh and you let the flesh take charge of everything, you'll be in trouble. A man, one of the traits of a man is a man who can withstand the sexual temptation.
Of course.
But you see, it also takes you understanding sex in a deeper understanding for you to be able to overcome it. Remember, we spoke about lack mentality and abundance mentality. There's a place and time for everything. Your 20s, if you are able to have sex, is good for experience sake, for learning sake. Not be for a sport, not sex to have
sex for sport.
No, not
Let's
sex
work
for,
out.
Nah, you're not supposed to be having sex for as an Olympic game in your 20s. You're not supposed to be doing that in your 20s. You're supposed to have sex once a while when you have it, to release the hormones in you, to calm you down, to release.
So we can get back to work.
So you can focus. That's if you're lucky enough.
If you're lucky, why is it so like?
Because women are born with value, men have to create value.
How is having sex with a woman in your 20s lucky? How does that make you lucky?
Women are born with value, intrinsic value. Men have to create their value. For you to be able to have sex with any woman at all, she has to deem you valuable enough to have sex with her, unless you are paying for it.
You said unless you're paying for it.
But if you're not paying for it, and it's a relationship or any sort of transaction, she has to deem you valuable enough. In most young 20s don't have value enough for a woman to want to have sex with them. Sometimes young 15-year-olds or people who are even not in their 20s get to have sex. It's luck. But majority...
It's luck to lose your virginity at a young age?
Because it's not supposed to happen.
School?
It's not supposed to
You're not supposed to lose your virginity in high school.
Because you don't know what you are doing. So the fact that it happened doesn't make it right. Like the girl probably is doing it because of peer pressure, or you are doing it just to say that. Oh,
just to say you
sex.
are, yeah.
That doesn't make it right. That doesn't mean you had a good sexual experience.
Of course not.
Good, but majority will not have that experience until they are old. So if a young man can control that urge, that sexual urge, it saves you a lot of trouble. Also, the reason why it's also extremely important is men, especially all men actually, are vulnerable during sex.
Yes.
When you are on top of a woman, at that moment, your mind isn't working right. Your sense of awareness isn't working right. Let's just say you're lying down and the woman is sitting on top of you. At that moment, you are enjoying what is happening so much that your sense of awareness, your danger senses are off, because you are enjoying that moment. But in that moment, someone can come and shoot you.
Yes.
In that moment, a spiritual being can enter the room and steal your destiny. You don't know. Yes. So all these things have to be taught.
Keep going on how you said like it's hard for a young man to be able to do that in this day and age. Because,
like I said, if you've been on TikTok or on Instagram, I'm sure you've seen all the TikTok and the Instagram buddies saying, oh, I only date this guy, I only date a guy who makes $1 million plus, or I can't date a 9-to-5 guy, I can't do this. I'm sure you've heard some of those things, right?
Yeah.
Now there are also young kids who are in their 20s who are making millions. But they are the tiny group of people, the masses, let's just say.
But you don't need to make that to get a girl, man.
But you see, that is for you to say now because you are 23. But when you were 15, 16, 17, 18, I'm sure you didn't see life like that.
I had a girlfriend as well.
Yes, but the kind of experience you are having now is different from that experience.
It is.
That is all I'm saying. The point where you had a girl at that time, or the experience you had at that time, You are the anomaly. You are the minority.
That's what I'm saying. You're making, but okay, that's
majority
fair.
won't be
But
like you.
Why do you assume? Why do you assume that? That like
Because you don't even know how to talk to a girl. You don't even know how to articulate your thoughts. You don't even know how to open your mouth and say something that will tingle a girl or make her feel like, let me give it to this guy. You don't even know how to bring your words to fruition. Majority of young men are awkward. They don't know how to talk in certain age groups.
So majority of young men should not be having sex with a woman?
No.
Or they're not ready to?
They are not ready because there are more important things to worry about. You come from a single parent home as a young boy.
That's
your
true.
mom is hustling to take care of you and pay your bills and take care of everything. You and your brothers don't even know where your dad is, and what are you doing trying to have sex?
That's actually
You
fair.
should be working four different jobs
That's
to try and
actually
save
fair.
money so that you can, on summer, you don't stay in the same home. You get out of your comfort zone and travel to a different place so you can expand your mind. That's what I'm saying. Most young people need to focus on the most important things, and that is why we need mentors. If we had a lot of mentors in our society, the mentor would say, instead of focusing on girls or having sex at this age, let's get you to work, save up, so you can expand your mind. We are the sum of the information we are exposed to. If you don't know that there's $1 million burger, you will never know. What you don't know, you don't know. But if you know, if you go to Asia and you see that, oh, this room costs $10,000, you come back to America, work hard, and go on vacation. You know, this summer there are so many people who have traveled for their own vacation and to explore the world with money they save from work. There are young people who are doing that now. And there are other young people whose parents gave it to them. I am saying that if you don't have the parents who give you the money to go on an Europe summer or summer outside of America or anywhere,
that's a blessing. Now that's rare. Not having
save money and don't focus on girls.
That's rare to do, and that's something that will actually change your life. Being able to branch out and stuff and travel as a young man. That's harder to do than having sex with a woman.
Because you are talking from a point of privilege.
Yeah.
You probably were able to talk to girls at a younger age. That is a privilege, I'm telling you. Majority of men can't develop themselves in their 20s. It takes time.
So they have to go through their 20s not talking to girls.
But there are sometimes you have wet dreams. You think God is... We are talking about
that
God. That
sounds
here.
like a hard life.
Bro, God intentionally put wet dreams to release some of these hormones out of us. There are so many people who wake up and they'll have wet dreams.
Can I be honest with you? It's hard to feel like a man
if
you're not having sex with a woman. And you know this. It doesn't matter how much money's in your bank account. It doesn't matter how you look.
Yeah. It is not
it's biological.
It's not the end or be all. Sex is good, but not for certain young people. Maybe your first sex, the girl is pregnant. Suddenly you are father.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe your first sex. Because when you are young, the sperm is very strong, very potent. So your first sexual intercourse you had with a girl, boom, she's pregnant. Now you're a dad. You just went to have fun. Now you have a baby.
Dang.
You don't know how to be a dad. Now suddenly the society is even forcing you to marry the girl. Now you have to be a husband. You don't know. You've not seen it before. So rather save time, work, save money, travel, explore the world, expand your mind, meet people, make friends. Making friends in your older years is harder than making friends when you are young. So when you are young, that's what I'm pushing for. Work, save, and travels. You can't wait on your mom or your uncles to give you money to live life.
Exactly.
So you work yourself and then you can expand. I think it's our time. We pass an hour.
Are you going to close out?
Yeah. And is that any last question before I close now?
We should close out, right?
Okay. So today Loki came with all the hard questions, and I'm hopeful that I was able to answer a few of these questions. And thank you for watching us. If you're watching this, kindly subscribe. And my name is GK, and you are
Loki.
I'll see you again next week.
Thank you guys. Bye. Woo! We did it! First stream.
Yes.